Personally, I think the most important issue is inter-generation communication.
A big part is about communication and kind of dialogue and having spaces for doing so and having such discussions.
Youth disengagement with the older generation, and that's really important because if the youth are disengaged with their parents, or that they are more susceptible to peer pressure influences and a wide range of other issues.
Definitely, I would say racism and gender, probably education / employment, and there's also drugs. That's an upcoming problem. Yeah.
It really is about advocacy and building that consultative process.
I think employment is a big one. I think a lot of our youth are unemployed, and the reason why they're unemployed is because of lack of skill sets. Obviously there's discrimination as well.
For me, there's a very important intersection for all these issues. It touches on identity, it touches on mental health. And the issue here is that the fact that we as a community have no autonomy, there is no self-determination. We are constantly being defined in ways that we don't recognise and accept, and we have no way of dealing with that.
Okay, one of the things that you can do is, first of all, there are several trainings. You have to have basically a training in community organizing, not only organizing but conflict resolution. I think you have to first, build trust within the community. When the community sees, a group of young people who are working together, I think they are keen to listen.
So that's why I think what the Somali podcast is trying to achieve is really great, and connecting communities, from around the diaspora, from within Australia and globally.
And my favourite part would have to be coming to the realisation that as a Somali community, we don't have to do everything ourselves, that there were other communities like the Lebanese, the Vietnamese, the Greek, all of these other communities that had their own issues, had their own host of issues, and that we should engage them and learn from them. And I guess that's one lesson I'm going to take from it.
I think the podcast can have a wider scope than just interviews with prominent Somalis. I think it can be an archive that we just discussed about Somali culture.
We'd like to see more creative content coming out of Somali Podcast. Documentaries. We'd like to address structural racism that occurs. We talked about, we wanted more culture and language workshops running.
I really advocate for kind of the continual learning and development of Somali culture, especially through music.
We thought it's really important that we make more podcasts and more videos. And not just necessarily talk about really heavy issues, which I think are important to have a place, but kind of, talk about the lighter stuff, stuff that makes people laugh, that young people want to hear about.
Elders' participation, which was really important. We'd like to see more of elders represented and their stories and their histories talked about and respected and validated. More poetry.
Connecting with existing media outlets, SBS, Universal TV, those kind of things. Also, we were thinking of creating our own content, like creating a buzz, investigative journalism, looking at issues like incarceration of Somali Australians, asylum seekers.
We would really like to, in the future, make an app, a Somali Podcast app. We think that is the way forward.
And I'm honestly a big supporter of the Somali Podcast, and I hope, inshallah, in the future we can come back together and we can discuss some of the great work that we will implement in